not to exceed 30,000. Okay, and we could go back to the judge and ask, we don't want sidewalks on Virginia Street. Okay, assuming that there's nobody in town that represents the litigants.
Litigant is not in county anymore.
One of the litigants. There were more than one. Okay, and the attorney from Orlando makes a living on these lawsuits, right? So the attorney in Orlando who gets the notice would love to litigate, right? And so the likelihood that it's litigated, I can't speak to. I'm not the attorney. But that's the process. You would have to unring that bell. And that bell's harder to unring than it is to ring.
Sure. However, if I would assume that anyone, I would assume a judge with any reasonable approach, so long as the same amount of sidewalk is being converted, the judge doesn't care whether it's this side, whether it's that street, this street, if indeed the same amount of investment is being made, right? And they picked, no?
The point is, with the encroachments on the other side, we would be having the same meeting different people.
And you're not done, because you can, what you really have to do, you don't want these sidewalks, what you really have to do is convince a federal judge you don't want these sidewalks, okay? Because whether it's here first or there first, both sides of the road have to be done, okay? It's in the plan. It's not one side or the other, okay? And that's the reality. Okay?
Where's the priorities?
So the fact that it's on this side first, it's on this side first. And if you stop the project and say, no, do them first, that's fine. Somebody else's backyard, do them first.
But why are we
Okay.
prioritized first? That's my question.
Whose plan is this?
This,
The fake sidewalks where you can't drive or park your car. Whose
the
plan?
government, the judge,
Why
He
is it
gave the plan
prioritized
to Key
here?
West, and then he would do it to Marblehead and St. Augustine. I imagine had the same problem.
Right, exactly.
You
St.
know?
Augustine.
what I'm trying to explain,
Right?
Right,
Is
tell
that-
him, Charlie.
when the judge said, come up with a list, we turned to work that was already in the can, already approved by the commission, and with some minor changes. For instance, there was a request to add a section on North Roosevelt Boulevard because the kids go into not North Roosevelt, excuse me, Northside Drive, because the kids transit Northside Drive to the ballparks, okay? So that was added to the list. But
It makes sense.
basically, and that'll have to be done as well.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna.
the reality is that this list became, we took the work product of pedestrian access, we created this list, and this list becomes the Bible according to the lawsuit, okay? And that's what the attorney's saying. Virginia Street's on here, other streets are on here, they'll have to be done. Or the lawsuit will have to be amended, okay? The settlement agreement will have to be amended. And that's, I
Tell him, Charlie.
staff, the attorney hasn't given me an opinion on whether he thought that was possible. We talked about the
let him down.
likelihood
Charlie votes for him.
of litigation or challenges if we tried to change that, and you didn't give me a probability. So we talked about that too. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, well, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Keywords.
Yeah, right?
Commissioner Lopez's objection to
All right. We're walking.
has been lacking in work.
We'll be back.
I'm sorry, I
I
couldn't
said
hear
the
you.
heart and the reason Commissioner Lopez put through his motion to the commission to stop this project was because of the manner in which all the various violations, encroachments have been handled. Clean things up first, bring the project in, which basically is going to do. you appear, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you appear to be saying your commitment to us was to work one-on-one with people to try to resolve it. Is that a fair statement?
To the extent possible. There's things I can't do. I can't give everybody I can't solve everybody's problem.
No.
I can only attempt to mitigate the impacts of the project.
Communication. I testified last night about the communication process. The first time anyone knew about this was in the beginning of August. And that's when we were advised that there were encroachments.
We don't agree. But,
Well, wait a minute.
well, no, wait a
Well,
minute.
that's a
This
fact.
sidewalk
A
project-
full year ago, the owner of the pool was notified that he was encroaching and that he would have to make adjustments to his wall. Right? Okay? And with one-on-one conversation with him, he didn't deny that. Okay? And so, did everybody know it? I don't believe you owned your property then. I'm not sure though.
I've owned that property since the early part of 2008.
Okay, good.
You know,
So-
But
part of
here-
the
but here-
project
but to the point-
process is first to get approval. At that time, we get approval, then we have funds to spend on things like surveys. Once we have a survey, then can address encroachments. We had our first meeting. We had the survey with us showing encroachments for people who hadn't been contacted. So we have to, without approval, we don't get funding to see, to find out what's there.
We have to do surveys, but you raised a point about Commissioner Lopez's direction or feeling that we should have resolved all the encroachments before we begin the project.
Right.
And what I'm going to suggest to you, and Julio may remember some of this because I believe Julio was the city manager at the time for some of this. On two different occasions, we went to the commission asking them for permission to begin the process of taking back our right-of-way and easements. And on two different occasions, the approach was, well, if you don't have a project immediately, wait, okay? Don't go taking requiring a fence to be moved back, issue an easement. Let the people get an easement. The easement tells them they got to move their fence when we come and when we need our right-of-way back. Okay? Now, without the permission to begin that process, I can't resolve the encroachments until I get a survey and begin the project. That approval by the commission directs me and staff to move forward on addressing these issues.
And,
Okay.
and if unless I'm mistaken, you said your intent was to deal one-on-one with the people that were encroaching and had violated that. So today I go to a code enforcement hearing, and we had a meeting in early August. We were made aware of these problems. We're waiting for the design to come up to see what we're actually dealing with. But on September 1st, 2011, and this is, I'm not saying things out of school, this is public testimony. A complaint was generated by Kay Olson from the city's engineering department regarding an unpermitted car park, which cost me,
And I actually
$250.
told you how that happened on a phone conversation with Doug Bradshaw, myself, and you. What happened is when we have these projects, I shoot out emails to our planning and building departments in our city to look for easement agreements, variances, anything. Well, what happened when it went to the building department, someone in the building department said, oh, there's something about that. I'm going to forward this email now to the code department because they were